Greetings to everyone out there in the No DQ galaxy. Welcome to No DQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. NXT Takeover Brooklyn 4 is now in the record books, and what else can I say that has not already been said? NXT always delivers, and tonight was again no exception. How is WWE going to top this show with Summerslam? The answer is it's highly unlikely in all likelihood. SummerSlam, of course, is a 6-hour show when you include the kickoff. So right there, it's going to be tough. NXT TakeOver, these guys are just so talented, amazing roster, and they're allowed to go out there and have the best matches possible. Will we see the WWE guys and gals be able to go out there and just have the best performances possible? The answer is probably no. And because of that, it's unlikely SummerSlam will be able to top NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I wish they would. I wish SummerSlam could be the best show possible and be the kind of show that will be remembered for years to come. Tony Braden with a $2 super chat donation. What's up, Aaron? On break, RN dropping in for results. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Cindy with a $2 super chat donation. Good to be back on the live chat because of work. Thank you for that, Cindy. And by the way, make sure you guys follow Cindy, nodq.com/Cindy. Let me try that again. nodq.com/Cindy. Let me not try to combine two words into one. Check out her page. She actually was at a show where she got to take a photo with James Ellsworth, and apparently Ellsworth has been a big fan of NoDQ.com over the years. Go check out her page. We're going to call Cindy /Shindy from now on. How about that? No, just kidding. She's going to be Cindy, but check out her page, NoDQ.com/Cindy, and you'll see a bunch of cool stuff over there. Anyways, let's talk about the pay-per-view. It kicked off with the NXT Tag Team titles, the Undisputed Era against Mustache Mountain. Stephen Osborne with a $2 super chat donation. A+ show, he says, will not be topped, according to Stephen. Big G, Jeffrey with a $3 super chat donation. Great NXT show as usual. Keep it up, boss. They just have a winning formula with NXT. It seems to work 2 to 2.5 hours. Let those people go out there, have the best matches possible, and it just makes for a very fun and fast-paced show. So the tag match was an awesome opener. Just, again, it's a formula that works. Let these guys go out there and do their thing. I have to give some major praise to Tyler Bate. And Cindy with a $2 super chat donation. Is it just me or Tyler Bate also looked jacked? Tyler Bate is in phenomenal shape. That guy is just a hell of an athlete. He's 21 years old, and he's already doing things that most guys could not do in an entire career. The guy is unbelievable, and to me, he's one of the future superstars of WWE. That guy is just amazingly strong, and he did some really impressive stuff in this match. For instance, he did that big swing, and I believe it was Roderick Strong on his shoulders. It might have been opposite, I'm not sure, but that big swing with one guy and then the other guy on his shoulders. Incredible feat of athleticism by Tyler Bate. Lots of cool moments in this match, lots of highlights. Hired Help says Bate doesn't have the character yet, in my opinion, to be a major star, but if he develops, I agree. And you are right. He is only 21 years old. The guy is still finding himself. As far as being an athlete goes, he's already one of the best in the world. So it's just a matter of finding his character, and he's well on his way to becoming a major superstar. As I expected, we did have Undisputed Era retain the tag team titles, and I like the fact that they had Trent Seven teasing in, throwing in the towel, but he didn't do it. Nice little tease right there. O'Reilly kicked out of Mustache Mountain's Burning Hammer and knee drop combo, which was a nice touch to really make the champions look strong. And eventually we saw Undisputed Era retain the titles. Afterwards, we had War Raiders show up and attack Undisputed Era, so that could be setting up something at the NXT Takeover War Games match. Maybe we'll have War Raiders in the War Games match representing the babyface tag team. We'll have to see what happens with that, but really fun opener, just fast-paced, lots of action, and never a dull moment. Definitely a very strong opener for sure. And it looks like you guys really enjoyed this match. Daniel Sims says, I don't think that SummerSlam will be better than TakeOver. It's going to take a lot. It will really take a lot. Second match of the evening was Velveteen Dream versus EC3. And these guys had a tough match to follow. They really could not pull it off. The chemistry really wasn't there with these guys. But I have to say, Velveteen Dream, he dresses like a superstar. Going back to that earlier comment, maybe Tyler Bate doesn't have the character down yet, but Velveteen Dream does. This guy, he's got great attire. He's got the sense of humor. His tights red, and I quote, "Call me up, Vince." I love it. It was great. We'll remember it. This is something people will remember. Dream looks like a star. He got a great reaction from the crowd. He knows how to play to the crowd. Nice little reference. I think it was Notorious B.I.G. with the crown and the whole look that he had. He's always got somebody who he's been influenced by with his attire, and it's great stuff. Velveteen Dream just oozes superstar. The guy has charisma, and that's just putting it mildly. And he's only 22. So Tyler Bate is 21, and Velveteen Dream is 22, and these guys are already amazing. They're no doubt going to be bigger stars unless something unforeseen happens, like a serious injury or they get burned out on wrestling. But both of these guys are going to be major superstars, considering how great they are already and their age. They got so many years ahead of them, and it's gonna be a great time for both of those guys if they can stay healthy and just keep getting better. A few people in the chat room have to be timed out for posting immature comments. Come on, people. Let's get with the times here. We have a great chat room, by the way. Everyone is contributing except for a few trolls. Everyone's providing some insightful comments. So let's keep it that way. Let's have the best damn live chat room on YouTube. You guys are amazing. Anyways, back to the match. I thought it was good, but it was a good match that was filled with great matches. But with that said, still better than your average WWE pay-per-view match. We had Velveteen Dream picking up the win. He actually hit a Dream Valley driver, a DVD, his version of the DVD. EC3 kicked out of it. Dream hit another one on the apron, hit his flying elbow to EC3 from the top rope to the apron, and then pinned EC3 to score the victory. So there you go. Velveteen Dream picks up a big win on pay-per-view. Where does EC3 go from here? That remains to be seen. As I've said about EC3, that guy has the look. He's got the star power already. So I think it's just a matter of time for him as well. And he's already been in NXT. I can definitely see him on the main roster sooner than later. Not everybody is sold on Dream, though. Mr. Fashi123 says Dream will become a joke at the main roster. And John says EC3 needs more moves. Kayfabe Candy Ass says Velveteen Dream should just enjoy his time on NXT while it lasts. You never know, Vince might see him as a Tyler Breeze. Well, at least Dream is funny with the tights, and he's gonna kiss Vince's ass and just make it part of his gimmick. So I love it. I think it's great stuff here. By the way, we did have the moment where a new NXT signee was shown in the crowd, and it was the guy we were pretty much expecting. Matt Riddle was there in the front row, and unlike, I forgot which pay-per-view it was, but he was in the crowd holding a beer and giving the thumbs up, but they were not, the camera was not focusing on him. Matt Riddle was in a suit. I believe he was wearing flip-flops with his suit, so you gotta love Matt Riddle for that. But yeah, Matt Riddle is officially part of the NXT brand, as everyone was pretty much expecting at this point. So next up we have Adam Cole, baby, versus Ricochet. First off, I wanted to say I love the entrance for Ricochet. It's super cool, and this guy is just a live-action comic book hero. Again, another guy that is going to be a major superstar. He's already got the character down and the look down. You know, when I look at him, I see action figures flying off the shelves. Literally, like Ricochet, they're just going to fly off the shelves. And I get the point from earlier about Tyler Bate. Do you see an action figure for this guy being made yet? No, that is something he does need to work on. But Ricochet, Velveteen Dream, I think they already got it down with their looks and just their presentation. They got the superstar looks that can be featured in the video games. So many possibilities for Ricochet on the main roster. Ricochet versus Rey Mysterio. Ricochet versus AJ Styles. No way they're putting this guy on 205 Live. This guy is ready for prime time. You put him on the main roster, there's money to be made with this guy. So I think putting him on 205 Live is just a terrible idea. He's got to be on the main roster. But yeah, I think Ricochet's ready for the big time. He's got the whole presentation down. Excellent entrance to go along with his style. I mean, the guy is just a human highlight reel, doing tons of cool stuff in this match. How about that springboard moonsault into a super kick? I posted a GIF of it on No DQ, so check that out along with the results. But some people think that was even better than the Shelton Benjamin jump into the super kick on Raw from 2005. Time will tell if people remember this, but man, this was just an unbelievable moment. Is it a GIF or a GIF? I still don't know how you pronounce it to this very day. The GIF, you know, the image, animated image. But that was unbelievable. Some people think the Benjamin one was better, but this one, I mean, they really had to have the timing down with this perfectly, and they did. It just looked amazing. Is it pronounced GIF or GIF? I still don't know to this day. It's like a meme or a mem. I still don't know how to pronounce it. The GIF, whatever. Ricochet is just born for these animated images. The GIF. So, GIF. I always thought it was GIF and not GIF, but some people pronounce it GIF. But anyways, that's just, we're getting off topic here. Who cares? It's an animated image. I'll just say that to save myself the embarrassment. Jordan Thomas with a $2 super chat donation. When will it be John's moment and Shayna call up? And Tony H with a $2 super chat donation. The North American title match was better than the NXT title match. So I'll talk about Johnny Gargano here in a moment. Regarding Shayna, I'll again talk about that here in a few moments when I get to that match. Stephen Osborne with a $2 super chat donation. G stands for graphic, so GIF. He says GIF. I don't know. Animated image. I don't care. I'm just going to say animated image. Yeah, I do sound old, Todrick. I'm not cool like all the people on Twitter that are up to speed with all the technology and everything. I'm just an old fart. So, animated image. There we go. We've done enough arguing back and forth with this debate. It's just an animated image as far as I'm concerned. Ashton says, Aaron, you're cool just like NWO, brother. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Or as, I like this, as Michael Wayne says, it's an image that moves like video but no sound. So I'll just say that from now on. All right, but anyways, lots of cool moments in this match. Lots of awesome near falls to the point where the crowd was doing the NXT chant, Mamma Mia chant. And Ricochet won. Ricochet came back, hit the 630 to capture the North American title from Adam Cole. I was a little surprised. I mean, I figured this one would most likely go to Adam Cole, but there were people that thought, well, maybe it's Ricochet's time. Adam Cole's going to maybe move on to something else. Maybe they'll do a split. Somebody proposed that idea. I did talk about it on No DQ Video and No DQ Live. The idea that maybe we'll see Adam Cole break away from Undisputed Era since the crowd loves him already, and maybe we'll see him go babyface. But yeah, this was a great match. Maybe the match of the night. Maybe the match of the year. I mean, this was right up there. I mean, just an awesome match. Really great stuff here. Highly recommend checking it out. If you're going to watch anything from this show, this is probably the first match you should watch. Either this or the main event. But let's talk about the women's match. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane. This was maybe the best women's NXT match on pay-per-view since... maybe Sasha Banks and Bayley, or Sasha Banks and Charlotte, going back to 2015. This was the best NXT match on a pay-per-view in quite a while. And to me, this was maybe the biggest surprise of the show. I figured this was just going to be a good showing by Sane, and she was going to put over Baszler with the Evolution pay-per-view coming up. And by the way, there's a pretty big spoiler, what appears to be a spoiler at least, for Evolution. Go check it out on NoDQ.com if you haven't already. But yeah, I enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. We had some good submission exchanges on this show, on this match in particular. Sane hit the insane elbow and then attempted a second one. Baszler was able to kick out of it. Baszler got the clutch submission on, and Sane got to the ropes. They should do a tag team. Sami Zayn and Kairi Sane. Zayn and Sane. That's a tongue twister right there. But I love the finish. This might have been the finish of the night. I mean, this was awesome. Sane went for the third insane elbow. Try to say that fast. But Baszler got her feet up. Baszler went for the clutch again, but Sane was able to counter it into a roll-up. Kind of similar to like Bret Hart countering the $1 Million Dream, Survivor Series 1996. And she picked up the win. Sane with a big surprise victory over Shayna Baszler to capture the NXT Women's Championship. Sane was very emotional afterwards. She was crying. Great celebration here. I loved it. Joshua said, "Did you hear the boos for Ronda Rousey?" I did not notice it, but that would be interesting. That might be some bad foreshadowing for tomorrow night. We'll see. Ronda just has that charisma where I feel like even if some of the fans resent her and boo her, she always seems to overcome it. I think she just has that likable personality and charisma, and she's really putting her best efforts out there. So I think in the end, the fans tend to forgive her. And so far, Rousey has been exceeding expectations when she goes out there. So whatever backlash there might be or fans that resent her, I think Rousey just goes out there and just does so well and has such a good showing that the fans don't turn on her. We'll see how things go at SummerSlam. I didn't notice it, but some people think they did not hear it either. So I don't know. But yeah, Kairi Sane is the new NXT Women's Champion. What do you guys think about that? Big surprise as far as I'm concerned. I thought it was just going to go through her and have a big match at TakeOver, but maybe WWE is going to move forward with this MMA Horsewomen versus WWE Horsewomen match at Survivor Series, and maybe they wanted the title off of Baszler so they could start building towards that. Who knows? I mean, it's something that is definitely rumored for Survivor Series, and maybe they're going to pull the trigger at Evolution, and WWE just wanted to get the championship off of Baszler to set up that match. But also an interesting point, as Cindy mentions, it's going to be Kairi Sane versus the winner of the Mae Young Classic. So basically the first Mae Young Classic winner versus the finalist of the second one. Actually, no, it's the finals at Evolution. So I'm guessing at some point, maybe Survivor Series, it'll be Kairi Sane versus the winner of the second Mae Young Classic. There we go. That's the right way to say it. But yeah, should be really interesting. Should be a good show at Evolution, unless it goes too long. I mean, if there's a lesson to learn from this show and the NXT pay-per-views in general, and the main roster pay-per-views, the longer it is, it's just harder to really keep the momentum going. With this show, there was really never a big slow point. It kept going, and you never got bored with it. It just flowed very nicely. And the problem with the main roster shows is it's just so long, and it's really hard to keep that momentum going. Ken terminated by Google with a $2 super chat donation. Hi, Aaron C. See ya after Raw. You rock. Thank you for that, Ken terminated by Google. I appreciate the super chat donation. All right, let's move on here to the main event, which was Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano in a last man standing match. So I will talk about the finish here. I have my opinion on the finish. Up until the finish, I think this was the best last man standing match I've ever seen. This was just very, very well done, not just by the performers, but the people in charge of putting the match together. Just laid out brilliantly as far as I'm concerned. So many things they put into this match. This was like a match you would expect to see at WrestleMania. This is the kind of match you would want to see. If you were putting together a WrestleMania main event, let's just say, you would want to do everything. You would want to make this the match of all matches. And that's what they did here. They did everything you could possibly do. You had chairs. You had people going through the announce table. You had the ring being torn apart with the boards being exposed. You had the floor on the outside being exposed. These guys did all sorts of different spots to get to the big moment where the guy would get up at 9, and creative stuff as well, like Ciampa rolling out to the floor to avoid being down for the 10 count. There was one moment where they both just got a second wind at the same time, which I actually really liked. You know, kind of like a Hulk Hogan moment where they both just have their second wind, and they actually both got up at the count of 1 and just kept going at it, exchanging blows, German suplexes. I really enjoyed that. I like it when every once in a while they have that kind of moment where they both have their second wind at the same time. So I enjoyed that. And yeah, this was just extremely back and forth. And if you were putting together a match where everybody would be seeing a little bit of everything, this was one of those matches. This was something for everyone, as I was trying to say. We even had a moment on the outside, a little throwback to WrestleMania 12 with Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, where instead of Shawn going for the super kick, missing Bret and hitting the timekeeper, we had Gargano going for the super kick and missing Ciampa and hitting one of the ringside guys. I don't think it was the timekeeper, it was just one of the workers there at ringside. Mike B with a $9.99 super chat donation. Thank you for that, Mike B. I'm giving you a donation tonight because I won't be able to tune in too long for tomorrow night's stream because of the length of SummerSlam and having to work at 8 in the morning. You, No DQ, and NXT all rock. So thank you for that, Mike B. Tony H with a $2 super chat donation. Thank you, Tony. Wallace strong match, worst out of the trilogy in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about the finish. Let's address the elephant in the room, so to speak. And by the way, before I get to that, quick plug here for No DQ's big 2-hour live stream coming up August 30th. It's entitled Call In. Obviously, I will be taking calls for the entire 2 hours. It starts Wednesday, August 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Subscribe to the channel, tell a friend, call in. No DQ special 2-hour live stream, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, August 30th. Now, with that being said, let's talk about the finish. Lots of polarizing views on this. I mean, a very polarizing finish for sure. Some people saying they thought it was very creative. Some said it ruined the match. John says the ending reminded me of a main roster finish. Tony H says, I thought it was very strong, but it lacked in areas and the finish was meh. And he says it was the worst of the trilogy. So I definitely had some mixed feelings on it. On one hand, I liked it because it was kind of like one of those moments where, like, for instance, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell, the very first one, where he just basically lucks into a victory. Some think it made Gargano look foolish because instead of winning, he just got too emotional. He let the emotions get the best of him. So it's kind of like making the babyface look weak. I can understand that viewpoint, definitely. So basically, they were brawling on the stage. Gargano had the handcuffs that Ciampa introduced into the match and was going to use them, but Gargano got the upper hand. He threw Ciampa into the stage, and then he handcuffed Ciampa to the stage. And I love the part where Ciampa was begging, by the way. He was saying he was sorry. Gargano said it was too late for apologies. And then Gargano went for the running knee. He hit the knee, but he just was so intense with it that he actually flew off the stage. He went knee first into the crates that were on the ground, and he just crashed onto the floor. He was selling his knee, and he was unable to make the 10 count. However, Ciampa was able to roll off the stage at a count of 9 to technically win the last man standing match. So the idea, it also reminded me of the 1983 steel cage match with Don Morocco and Jimmy Snuka, the famous match where Snuka jumped off the cage. And then the finish of that match was Snuka, I think it was like a drop kick or something, where he attacked Morocco and Morocco just fell out to the floor and won the match. So kind of like a cheap way for the heel to win, due to the babyface doing something and the heel just wins by a fluke. So some people felt, and perhaps there's an argument to be made here, that it was not satisfying. This was supposed to be the blow-off of the feud, the final match, and some people wanted the feel-good ending, and this really wasn't it. It kind of did feel unsatisfying. So I do have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I kind of like the Shawn Michaels style finish where Gargano just he just gets too emotional and it gets the best of him, and Ciampa is able to win by a fluke. It should have been the end. I mean, Ryan says this isn't the end. To me, this should have been the end of the feud. This should have been the final match. Now, I had mentioned during the predictions video that I would have liked to have seen maybe some kind of heel turn. Maybe Candice turning against her husband. I think I would have liked that better. Just so you actually had an ending that could start a whole new storyline and do something different. Here it didn't feel like it was the end, even though I felt it should have been the end of the storyline. So yeah, mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I like it. On one hand, I'm like, where do you go from here? What's next? Are you really going to end it with this? I mean, you would think they would have to do something else to with these guys now. I don't know. I'm definitely torn about how I feel with the ending of this, but up until the finish, I mean, this was a 10 out of 10. I thought this was like the type of match you would have at WrestleMania to close the show. do every single trick in the book, use every weapon, announce tables, crowd brawling, brawling on the stage, just everything you could possibly do. And TV State says oversaturation is a concern. And that could be a valid argument as well. I mean, this is the kind of match you should get at WrestleMania, not NXT. But yeah, amazing match. These guys just completely tore the house down. And great show. I mean, this was another near perfect WWE event. 2.5 hours. I think the runtime was 2 hours, 40 minutes. Great show. Definitely, as far as the letter grade goes, this was like a solid A, very close to an A+. I don't want to give it an A+ because I think somehow the end of Gargano and Ciampa could have been better. They could have come up with something better perhaps, but this was definitely a very solid A, if not an A+. Amazing show, and how does SummerSlam top this? I know a way, but I really don't believe it's going to happen. I think it's going to take something like a Roman Reigns heel turn. Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman together at the end of SummerSlam. They're going to need to do something big to create a major buzz for me to really feel that there's a chance SummerSlam could surpass the TakeOver show. It's going to be tough. You're going to have those guys going out there, no limitations. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe are going to have to be allowed to go out there and have the best match possible. Allow them to say, hey guys, go out there. You're getting 20, 25 minutes. You can do all the gimmicks. You can go through tables. You can brawl in the crowd. You can do everything possible to have a match of the year. Go out there and do it. And several of the other matches will have to click, have good finishes, and just have a good flow with the show. It's going to take a lot for SummerSlam to surpass NXT. And just the fact that it's 6 hours is going to hurt the show. I mean, let's face it, it's too long to be sitting and watching a wrestling show. But, you know, I sound like a broken record saying all this. So we'll see how things go. I will be back tomorrow night to talk about SummerSlam. I'm sure it's going to be a very long video. So be ready. You're going to watch 6 hours plus an hour plus of No DQ Live, I'm assuming. We'll see. Time will tell, but I'm not getting my hopes up. My advice to everyone is don't expect too much for SummerSlam. If you go in with low expectations, maybe, just maybe, it'll turn out to be a pretty good show. But yeah, NXT, great stuff. A show. So on that note, I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of No DQ Live. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership and your support of NoDQ.com. Stay tuned. Again, head over to NoDQ.com. Big match appears to be spoiled. Very big match for Evolution. Check it out. NoDQ.com. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for SummerSlam.